Hey class, I want to show you guys how to do the next assignment. So to start off, make sure you have your cat that we did from last assignment. Make sure the background is transparent. That's very important for when we want to do the double exposure like this. So once you have your cat dropped in, go up to image, go down to adjustments, and go down to desaturate. This just gets rid of the blue hue on the cat, so it's not too distracting from when we put in the mountain. Now we want to put a background on this cat. I'm actually going to rename this to cat just by double clicking on the text. I don't want you guys to get confused. So now that we have that named to cat, we're gonna put in a background. So go down to your moon icon, or this cookie icon, click on that, go all the way up to color fill, click on that, and we're going to change this to a like a desaturated kind of light blue. I think that's okay. Press OK. And this color is important mostly for this image because the background of our mountains is going to be kind of blue, and when we lighten up that background in a later step, the clouds are gonna show through a lot more. So now that we have that done, I'm gonna rename this to background. Feel free to pause and rewind whenever you guys miss a step. We're gonna put in our mountain with the cloud. It should be up on Google Classroom, so go ahead and download that or save it to your computer. We're going to drop in our cloud, or our mountain cloud. Let's see here, where do I have it saved? I'm just going to click and drag and put it in. If clicking and dragging doesn't work for you guys, just go to File, Open in Place, and look for your file. So we're going to resize this. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift and click on one of the corners, resize it down to about that size. That size is fine, and place it over his head. If you guys want to see where you're placing it on the cat, you guys can lower the opacity by going to opacity on that layer, clicking on this drop down arrow, and sliding the slider down to the left, and then you guys can see the cat through the layer. So just move that and place that on the cat. And now I'm going to increase the opacity back up to 100%. So with that done, I'm going to go down to where the cat is. I'm going to hold down Control and then click on this little box. Do not click on the right, do not click on the text, click on the little box. So hold down Control and then click on the box, and now your cat should be selected. With your cat selected, go back up to the top layer. We're going to go down to the bottom where we see this rectangle with a circle in it. That will add a mask to the selected area on that layer. So we're going to click on that, and now we should see our mountain inside our cat. So make sure this mask is selected. Go to your left, and we're going to click on the brush tool right under the band-aid. We're going to go up here to the top where we see the circle and the 15. Click on that. this is going to be our brush, and we want to set this hardness down to 0. So just slide this down all the way to 0 and increase this to about 100. No, let's do around 200 is fine. Okay, click out of that, go to your flow, and we're going to decrease this to around let's do 24% is fine. And we're going to change our color down here. There should be 2 colors right here. We're going to click on the top one. That's going to be our primary color. And we're just going to click and drag the circle to the left where it's all black. In the left corner, all the way down here. Press OK. And now we're just going to brush this line out. Make sure your mask is selected on here. Just going to brush that out. And brush out a little bit on the ear. I don't want any of this blue sky in the background showing. Kind of want to make it look like the mountain is cutting into the cat a little bit. So I'm going to use a lasso tool up here. If you don't see your lasso tool, you're probably zoomed in too much on your actual Google Chrome page. So you're going to go up to the 3 dots up here, and then you're going to zoom out to like 80%. I believe, yeah, 80%. And you should see your lasso tool. So we're just going to cut into this mountain a little bit. So just trace over this mountain. Doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure you go a little bit into the mountain so you don't see any blue lines. And we can use the shift, hold down shift to select a little more and carve into the mountain a little bit more. Now I want to switch to my brush tool and brush that sky out. I'm going to press Ctrl D to deselect. And I'm just going to use my brush to brush a little bit more on the sides right there. Right here too. And over here. And now we have this kind of double exposure going on. And it looks like the mountain, the cat's face is made out of rocks. So now from here we can go to our cat layer, click on that, duplicate this layer by right clicking and hitting duplicate layer, or you can press Ctrl J. Move this cat copy up to the top by clicking and dragging. And we're going to change this blend mode of this layer, the blend mode of this layer, to lighten. So just click on the normal tab, go down to lighten, go to your opacity and change this to 50 or 40%. I have mine at 41%. We're going to add a mask to this. So go down to your rectangle with the circle, click on that. And now we're just going to brush his eyes away. Just a little bit. It's fine. Don't do too much. Just where his eyes are. Now from here, we're going to go down to our mountain. I want to rename this mountain. And we're going to make a copy of this one. So right click on the mountain, go down to duplicate layer. I'm going to delete this raster mask, so just click on it, click on the raster, right click on the raster, and go down to delete raster mask. Make sure you're hovering over the raster mask. So delete raster mask. And now we're gonna change, no, yeah, we're gonna change this from normal to lighten. So click on the normal tab, go down to lighten, and you can see that there's clouds right here. If you don't see clouds, it's probably because your background is too light. So go to your background color and double click on it and just change it until you're content with how bright or light your clouds are, and press OK. Go back to your mountain copy, and now we're going to make an inverse mask. There's two ways to make an inverse mask, or there's a few ways to make an inverse mask, but the quickest way is to hold down your Alt key and then go down here and click on your rectangle with the circle in it while holding down the Alt key. So click on that, and now you should have a black square right there. If it's still white, just press Control I and it should fill it up with black. So now we're going to take our brush tool and we're going to change the color to white. So go down here where you see the two boxes, click on the one on the top, click and drag up to the corner until it's white, press OK, and now we're just going to brush in the clouds. Make sure your raster mask is selected on the mountain copy. Just like so. Okay, so we can see the guy here. We don't want that, so I am just gonna erase him. So go and change your brush back to black, press OK, just erase him. I'm gonna make my brush kind of small, make it smaller, and now it looks like there's clouds coming out of his face. I'm gonna go down to the bottom, the first mountain, click on the raster mask of that one, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring back in some of that mountain. So I want this to be kind of sharp because this mountain is pretty sharp, so I'm gonna use my lasso tool and kind of just eyeball it a little bit. I know right here is where the mountain stops because of the clouds. I'm gonna take my brush tool, change it to white, press OK, and just color that in. And press Ctrl D to deselect. And I don't want the top of this cat to be showing, so I can go up here, click on the cat copy raster mask, and I'm just gonna erase this with a black brush. Like so. And that's how you do this assignment. If you guys want to put some filters on it, you guys can. I always recommend putting filters on your work. So I'm just going to group this up. You guys don't have to group it up, but it just tightens everything up, and I can move this around if I want to. And to put a filter on top of this, go down to the new adjustment layer, or the half moon, Click on that. Go to color lookup. Click on this bar right next to LUTS. Click on this. Click on this drop down arrow. And you can download any of these filters. I'm gonna do neon because that looks cool. And now we have something that looks like this, and it could be put on a t-shirt. Let's see, and I could put some text too if I want to, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put that, set that to 100, change this to trying to look for a font. Bebas new. Click once. I'm gonna change this to like a dark gray. Don't use black, guys. So just gonna type in cat. I'm gonna change the tracking to 1000%. Press enter. Oh, just click out of that. Move this. And there you go. That's how you do this assignment. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me.